Buffs Nation? Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. And of course, we have a lot to talk about, just like pretty much every day following this CU Buffs football program. Sorry for my raspy voice. As you can probably tell, I got a little rowdy at the Nuggets game last night. So great to get that win, but this isn't a Nuggets channel. This is about the Buffs. And we have two linemen coming in, and then we have someone that I had very high expectations for, Seydou Traore, our star tight end transfer, entered the portal today on the last day. So let me cover the offensive line, and then I want to spend the majority of this video talking a little bit about Traore and all of that. So we got two big offensive linemen coming in here. David Connor from Florida, I believe he was a 3-star recruit, 4 years of eligibility left, 6'5", 305 pounds, and I don't believe he's gotten on the field. And again, with offensive line, defensive line too, for a lot of these players, unless they're coming out of high school as the elite, they need to take time to develop before they get on the field. So this is something, bringing in a guy like this where there's potential, there's talent, there's size. Now we got to put in the work. It's up to our staff to develop him. It's up to David Connor, to put in the work. And just reading a little bit about what Florida fans have had to say on Twitter. Obviously it wasn't working out. That's why he entered the transfer portal. And sometimes you just need a change of scenery, just like anybody else does when you're looking for a new job or you're ready to leave a job. Sometimes the change of scenery and environment doesn't necessarily mean that it was bad. You just need something different to get the best out of you. So hopefully that's what it is for David Connor. And then we also have Kareem Harden, JUCO commit, coming over from JUCO college in Kansas. Now, I've seen a little bit discrepancies or differences with his size. I've seen 6'5", 300 or 290. On his Instagram page, it's 6'4", 315. So regardless, this is a big boy. This is a big man. And very happy to have him here. I'm going to link this in the description. Again, Life in Football is one of my favorite accounts that follows the Buffs right now. And he actually played at JUCO football, and he gets into the details of the mindset of JUCO players. And you can kind of see this with the Last Chance U seasons too. I mean, JUCO football, nothing is handed over. You're, for the most part, you just have minimal facilities, so to speak, not the shiniest, locker rooms and training areas and equipment and all that. And you really develop a hard, tough mentality in JUCO football. And so I'm happy that we're bringing more of that over here. And again, it's been hard for me to find the specific years of eligibility left for Kareem, but coming over from JUCO, I would assume that he has multiple years to play at Colorado as well. So again, Prime, the rest of the staff, they're bringing in guys that we can develop and continue to grow over the course of multiple years. And we love to see that. And bringing in more competition to the offensive line, bringing in more depth. I think for the most part, we know who our starters are going to be. But it's really important that we fill out that depth on both the offensive line and defensive line. Now, let's talk about Seydou Traore. He declared today, the last day, that the transfer portal is open to hop into, that he's leaving. Now, he was one of our top transfer recruits we brought in December from Arkansas State. He's more of a receiving tight end. He can really stretch the field. He's 6'4". He's a red zone threat. He's tall. We need some of that size, some of that height right now on this offense. There's no doubt about it. But he entered the portal, and this one, it hurts. And again, I'm going to give you my opinion. I don't think that overall, I love what Coach Prime is doing and the rest of the staff. I don't think that this thing has gone perfectly according to anyone's plan. And I'm wondering what kind of happened here with Traore, because I know that based on the comments that tight end coach Tim Brewster talked about after spring practices, how they're really trying to get him to be more of that blocker, to have that physicality, to have the right fundamentals with it. And that was an area of his game that he really needed to work on coming in here to CU. And one of the things that I brought up with talking about the Sean Lewis offense maybe about a month ago or so was, I had questions. How is Sean Lewis, how's this offense going to integrate a tight end? I'm not super familiar with Sean Lewis prior to Kent State, but at least at Kent State there wasn't a tight end featured in that offense. So wondering, okay, how are we going to incorporate this? It seemed like mainly the tight ends were used to be in line and block instead of stretching downfield, which is what Traore excels in. I think he's leaving because the scheme probably isn't the best fit, but there is some frustration that I have where if you're bringing in an athlete like that, there's got to be kind of like a give and take, because he's definitely a special player when it comes to stretching the field. It needs to work on his blocking game. But I don't know. I just feel like we knew what kind of player we were getting, like what his strengths and weaknesses were. And I mean, maybe they just didn't see the type of grit and desire in the blocking area that made them comfortable of even putting him on the field, even if he wasn't going to block every time, because once you know that a guy can't block, based on what tight ends offenses bring out, you can kind of read what they're going to do, So it's a bummer. It's something that I'm frustrated with. Who knows what kind of tight ends that we bring in the portal? I know that there's I'm forgetting his name right now, but for instance, there's an Alabama tight end in the transfer portal, and I know nothing about him, but I do know that Alabama, if they've been good enough to be recruited by Alabama, most likely they're good enough to play Power 5 college football and play over here in the Pac-12, to be honest. But I'm going to be rooting for Traore. I think my kind of theory is he probably realized he wouldn't be a full-time player. He'd be more of a rotational tight end right now within this offense and where his skills are at. And maybe he just needs to go find a school that is going to have him on the field running routes most of the time. He's too good not to be on the field. That's how I feel about it. Now, this offense, maybe it's not the best for him, and that's unfortunate. But we have a particular way of doing things. If there is any clear indication of how Coach Prime and this staff is running it, I mean, they have a standard, and if you do not meet it, they're going to ask you to leave, or they're going to tell you that you're not going to get as much time as you'd like. So let me know your thoughts in the comments about this. This is something that I'm bummed about, but again, I don't think that this sort of thing happens without them having other guys that they can bring in. But I don't think any of them are going to be nearly as talented as Traore in the passing game, in the receiving game. But seems like we're going to need these tight ends to be more utilized for blocking, which we can get those guys. But hopefully we can get some more size in the receiver room. Y'all have told me to check out Malachi Weidman as well. Another tall guy just like Shane Hooks, both at Jackson State. Hopefully we can get one of them. We need some height. I don't think we're lacking for any size up front anymore, but we need some height in this receiving game. So let me know your thoughts, Buffs fans. Hit that like. Let me know in the comments what you think, and go Buffs.